Thoughts about the offense, how they performed? I mean, Tom seemed to think the offense was ahead of the defense a little bit. What were some of the things that stood out to you?
Yeah, I think we're doing a good job, and I think the defense is also doing a good job this camp. I think we're developing the run game. We got some great players that'll really help us in that area this year. And as offense as a whole, we're rolling as usual.
Jack, from a mental standpoint, how much do you try to learn when Mike's out there doing his thing and you're just you're watching and vice versa? I mean, how much of that also translate afterwards in meetings and such in regards to breaking down what each other saw or did or whatever? How's that communication level been?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think we both learn a ton from each other. Mike's a great player, and on the field, it's huge taking those mental reps, just picking up those little parts of the game that maybe he's better at than I am, or I'm better at than he is. So it's super important. We make each other better, and we just have fun with it.
I asked Coach Allen what he saw in the scrimmage this week because it was a benchmark of where you guys are, and then next week, of course, where you want to be. Between these 2 weeks, what do you want to see your offense move to next Saturday, the next scrimmage, and what do you all need to do to get there?
Some things that we would like to see next Saturday is just, continuing to play at a championship level. Coach Allen talks about it all the time, and we're growing and we're getting there. And I think it's kind of a nonstop push. I don't think in our minds we may be at a championship level, but in our minds we're not. We're just going to keep on striving, going and going. So that's really it. We're just going to keep on pushing in that regard. And some things we just need to do is just execute, continue to execute at an extremely high level, better than any team in the country, and just continue just grinding together, loving each other, and getting in the film and the playbooks.
Dustin and Griffin.
Jack, I know we probably asked you a question sort of like this in the spring, but after having to take all the first team reps in the spring and having all this time, obviously working with Michael as he's come back, how do you think you're a better quarterback? Basically since January 1, basically as from a mechanical standpoint, throwing the ball, from a leadership standpoint, from a comfort with the offense standpoint, how do you think you're better now than you were then?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think in the early parts of the year, I was working through some stuff in my body and healing in other parts, and so that would make mechanical wise. I was just trying to get back in sync and get my whole body ready to go again. And mental part, I think it's good going against. I think our defense is probably one of the best defenses in the country, if not the best. So getting those reps in spring, understanding, maybe different looks, is huge for me. And then coming into fall camp, I think it's just been good for me. Like I said before, getting those different looks against our defense. And then I feel like for me as a player, I've become more calm. Everything's really slow to me now. I just need to continue helping the offense as a whole execute. And that's all it really is.
Griffin and Joe.
Jack, I mean, when you look at the relationship between you and Penix, the first word that comes to my mind is just how unselfish both of you are with each other, constantly pushing each other to be better. And we're in a generation where we're kind of in a me-first generation, and you guys continue to put the team over each other. So I'm just curious about where did that come from, and how do you guys keep that going in that unselfishness character that you guys both have?
You're exactly right. You don't see it a lot on TV or just anywhere else. It's kind of interesting. I just love Mike. He's a great guy, great player. So much respect for him and his resilience. It's easy. He's such a good guy. It's easy to love him and cheer him on. And I think, he cheers me on when I'm in. Same vice versa. But I think it comes from LEO. Coach Allen preaches it all the time. Some people believe in it. Some people don't outside the program. We all believe in it in here. So I think that plays a big role in that,
Joe and then Kevin.
Jack, from a quarterback standpoint, talk to us a little about how you see the defensive secondary, our defensive secondary improving, and how tough, how was the go last Saturday throwing against them?
I think our defensive secondary, those guys have always been phenomenal, to be honest. And like I said before, playing against them has made Mike and I both just so much better. Different looks they give us, techniques, tighter windows to throw the ball. And areas of improvement, I think they're just physical. They're closing windows down, and I think they're going to be great this year. The second part of your question.
No, how was it Saturday?
How was it Saturday? Yeah. I thought it was good Saturday. There was a lot of competition. they had some knockdowns, and we had some great throws. It's always just competitive and fighting against each other, making each other better. So.
Kevin, then Dustin.
Yeah, Jack, how would you describe Coach Sheridan as a communicator, and how did he kind of bring you along last year when you were kind of obviously thrown in there due to Mike's injuries, and how do you think he's kind of grown as a coach?
Coach Sheridan is an excellent communicator, and that's how he tries to help us with that. And that's one of the goals on offense is just excellent communication, over communication, if anything, so everyone's on the same page. So, and he's grown. He's helped me a lot, in that regard. When I was in there last year, and I felt like I was ready, so he just helped just prepare me even more, and just got me going. And then I think he's grown just, and really everything. Like he was his first year last year, and I feel like he's just ripping it now. Like he's just feels like he's the guy, and it's just easy for him now. So I think it's gonna be a good year.
Dustin, then we'll wrap up with 10.
Wanted to go back to what you said about looks. I mean, what as far as just seeing the field, basically, just seeing what you're seeing in a defense. What are you able to process faster now? I guess when you walk back and you look at a coverage, I mean, how much faster are you able to pull it off?
Yeah.
What's different? How your mind processes what you see in a defense right now than it was 7-8 months ago?
Probably pre-snap, post-snap. I don't know if you guys understand that, but pre-snap a defense will show some sort of defense. Post-snap they may roll or not, just stay in the same thing, or they'll try and disguise a blitz or a coverage. It's just a lot easier now. I think certain guys don't understand like what triggers to look for and what defenders to look at in certain fronts and certain coverages. But I think over the spring, summer, and fall, Coach Sheridan and all of us just really been grinding on that. So it's just way more clear now, and it's just helping slow everything down, if that makes sense.
Time, last one.
Jack, you and Mike spend so much time together all the time anyway, and Coach and Michael both have sort of talked about that September 4th target date for him. But as far as how you approach it, you always plan on being prepared to play on September 4th no matter what, right? Is that how your mentality works, that you're going to be 100% ready to go if you have to go?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and Coach Sheridan knows that. Mike knows it. I mean, that's how he would do it. If he was in my position, that's how we all do it. Prepare as if you're the starter. Watch film. Get ready, because you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Never know if you're going to be in fourth quarter on the last drive. You got to go score to win the game. So you have to be ready at all times, and that's what I do.